Flag football, 2028. They're obviously the NFL is voting to approve whether NFL players can participate. The idea is one per team can go play for this, but we thought we'd build our own squads.
I think it's a fun exercise, Mike. I think it is. And you can get creative with it too. Flag football, so much different than real football. Obviously, you can see the rules here. Each roster can include only one player from the same NFL team. Each team is composed of 10 players. I'm assuming 5 and 5. Those teams will square off in a 5-on-5 format. There will be men's and women's teams. And Harry, our producer, I was asking him, I was like, can we do a co-ed team, or are we just going all guys, all gals for this thing? And I think that's the way we're going to do it, guys and gals. I know
I feel like you have to include, though. You have to include guys like Travis Hunter. You have to include guys like Derek Stingley, just in case, because if there's only 10 players and it's 5-on-5, yeah, obviously you're going to separate up into 5 offense, 5 defense. But in case you get an injury or in case someone can't go or whatever, you need a guy who's going to be able to play both ways. So I think those two at minimum are going to be on it, but we're only picking our offensive teams here today.
Offensive teams. And if you'd like, I can get this thing started. Obviously I sent out a tweet yesterday that said, clearly people want Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, you name it, those top, Joe Burrow at the quarterback position. But I'm honest to goodness when I say that Kyler Murray is going to be my quarterback.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
I watched the guy, Darryl, the quarterback for the Olympics. Doucette. And his nickname is Deuce.
Is it Hoosh or whatever?
Something. I don't want to say too much. I don't get in trouble. But
yeah, if we combine those,
his style of play, like. There's a lot of lowering of the pad level. There's getting on the ground. There's like the little spin slide that Michael Vick used to do. I think that the guy who's tailor-made for that position in this game of flag football is Kyler Murray. And I brought this up on Twitter. You remember Odd Job from GoldenEye? So GoldenEye, was the golden age of first-person shooters. It was really the first one. And when, 3 of your buddies would come over and you play 4 split-screen multiplayer, there was always one character that nobody was allowed to pick because it was unfair. That was Odd Job. Odd Job stood about 3'7", and he was a very small hitbox, very small target area.
Like trying to hit Aaron Donald.
It was unfair. Yeah, it was like blocking Aaron Donald. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put him at the quarterback position. Bijan Robinson, one of the most talented athletes in the National Football League. Run, block, catch. I'm sure he could pass too. He's going to be at the running back position. A lot of fun with that backfield. And then obviously we're projecting down the road here in a couple years. It's not for this year. And I think Kyler Murray will still be quick and will still have the arm talent. Bijan will be in the prime of his career, in my opinion. And then you look at BTJ, and that's a guy who is dominant, one of the biggest freaks in the NFL. Malik Neighbors, a guy who possesses explosive ability. And then I'm going to put Brock Bowers out there at the receiver position as well. He does so much well, and I think he's just a really heady player. Will be a great add to any football team. That's my team. I'm interested to hear yours, Mike.
Okay, so I thought about this a little, and I just think Jaden Daniels will still be in the prime of his career. Lamar will probably be slowing down. Kyler will probably be slowing down. Josh Allen probably slowing down in 3 years, just in terms of their rushing ability. But Jaden is going to be like 27. He'll be fine. He's still going to be able to make a lot of guys miss. So I want him at the quarterback position. I want Devon Chain. Again, it's a different game. A lot of things that make good NFL running backs don't necessarily matter in flag football. But Devon Chain has what matters in flag football. He can catch. Guy can catch like a wide receiver. I mean, he's been one of the best receiving backs in the NFL over the course of his career. He has 4.32 speed. And then obviously he's shifty. Like he has all that you kind of want at that position to be an effective flag football player. Receiving core, Malik Neighbors is like just an obvious one. If you're not taking Malik Neighbors for this, you just haven't watched the guy. He's just a different caliber of explosive, dynamic athlete. I do worry, Pete, I did a segment with Pete yesterday, Pete Prisco on CBS, and he mentioned Tyreek Hill's got to be on there. And I was like, dude, Tyreek's going to be 34 then. how many 34-year-old wide receivers still got that juice? I thought about Jalen Waddle, and I'm like, he's going to be 29. How many 29-year-olds still got that? Like, just guys slowed down at that point in time. So those guys I did not include, but they're close. I went Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State right now.
I love that pick.
It will be after his rookie season. If you watched him as a true freshman, it was the best true freshman tape I've ever seen. I even debated throwing in Ryan Williams, the Alabama wide receiver, given what we saw from him. If you remember that play he had at the end of the Georgia game, the guy, those two are
up in the air, turned around backwards. Is that the one on the right sideline?
Yes. His game probably even translates better to flag football in terms of just the shiftiness, just the can't touch minimum phone booth type of ability. But Jeremiah Smith's like too good to, you don't always have to break tackles. You could just get open down the football field sometimes and throw up some jump balls. So especially when you got Jaden Daniels as your quarterback. And then Zay Flowers, still only 24 right now, one of the shiftiest. I debated between him and Garrett Wilson. I think you can't go wrong with either. They're both in the mold that works in flag football, but just give me Zay Flowers at this point. So that's my take.
Another fun little experiment that we were doing. I was texting with Harry this morning. I was like, let's do a women's team. And, beautiful graphics there for the men's team. But I'm going to go with women, and I'm going to go with women that aren't necessarily – obviously, there's a flag football team for all these countries already. Mexico's quarterback is incredible. She's like the most famous flag football player in the world. And I want to make sure Mexican flag football women's quarterback. And I want to give her props because I've read about her. Diana Flores Arenas. Okay. She is the quarterback and the captain of the Mexican football team. I wish we could take her because she's obviously great, but we have the next best thing, and that's Caitlin Clark. I'm going to put her at the quarterback. I just feel like her football IQ would be off the charts. Her ability to hit shots from range, her ability to create, distribute the football will be awesome. And you can see her there doing the no look. She's looking right, throwing left. A little Stafford-ish right there.
I feel like there is also, if you've seen Joe Burrow shoot hoops, if you've seen CJ Stroud shoot, I feel like there's a crossover between how accurately you can throw a football and how accurately you can shoot. Like, I feel like there's similar, not like obviously not similar movements.
You should see Mahomes play basketball. I believe what you're talking about. Okay. That's real. And also basketball players are fantastic with an understanding of spacing. Okay. So there's this thing called My Player on NBA 2K, and I know you're not a gamer, but My Player means I'm going to create Kyle Long, the power forward. My whole career, I'm only going to control my guy. You have to focus on spacing a lot in transition, which alleys to be in to allow the ball handler to have space. When you set screens and you try to get open or you're running your offense, spacing is big. Caitlin Clark probably has an elite understanding of spacing. Okay. At the running back position, USA Rugby superstar Alona Mayer. She is an absolute beast, and we would want her on our football team. Okay. Now, I debated putting Angel Reese at the running back position, but I don't know about having Caitlin and Angel next to each other.
They can't be on the same team
every play, although, man, oh, man, that's must-see TV. I've got Sha'Carri Richardson, the sprinter at receiver, because you need somebody to take the top off the defense, and I think that she definitely possesses those traits. Angel Reese is going to be a receiver. I'm thinking like a Brandon Marshall type, okay? Throw her the football at the line of scrimmage and watch people just get shooken off of her because she's a monster. I love watching her play basketball. People like to give Angel Reese a lot of crap, and I don't get it. I think that I know for a fact that I would want to be on a team with Angel Reese because she gets boards, she's getting up shots, and I know a lot of them don't fall, but like you go get your own rebound before you tell me what to do with my shot, okay? Like Angel Reese, Coco Gauff. These tennis players are, in my opinion, some of the best athletes on the planet. And you want to talk about mental toughness, they're playing a game by themselves, okay? It's like the total man in the arena sport is tennis. But you give her teammates, and I feel like she gets even better. Put her at receiver, her ability to move, her stamina, her toughness, and I just think her popularity is great. And also, tennis men's and women's tennis is the only sport in the research that I've done that makes the same as the men. So, and I'm talking money, okay? So
Yeah.
Coco Gauff is paid. So I just think about team dinners. Coco Gauff's going to be, sending her card in. These gals are going to eat great. They're going to have the best trainers, all that kind of stuff. Coco Gauff is somebody you want on your team. But Caitlin Clark's the headliner, and keeping Angel Reese out of the backfield and put her out wide is where I want to put Angel Reese.
See, I have no clue how this would work, but what I do know is that if that happened, that every daytime sports talk show would have a literal meltdown. It would be, what's that one? The Facility would be
Emmanuel Acho
screaming. Ryan Clark's podcast would be the most downloaded podcast in America. The clips that would come out on social media from that, just primo. So hopefully it does happen because of that.